Problems are part of our day-to-day lives. I am cold. I can put layers on, or I can turn on the heater. That is a simple problem with two simple solutions. A more complex problem would be I have a broken car, but I can go and learn about it and try and fix it myself, or I can take it to a mechanic. Even though it's a more complex problem, there are tested and tried solutions. It's fairly linear. We know what will help. These are tame problems. Wicked problems are different because they are dysfunctionalities that are integral to the societal systems within which we live. Even that sentence is hard to understand. The concept of a wicked problem is even worse. But there are characteristics that we can use to try and understand wicked problems. The first two are related. One, wicked problems cannot be defined. As in, there's too many factors, there's too many elements. It's too complicated for us to be able to give a simple definition. It's like, for example, cancer. Yes, cancer is a disease, but how do you define the reasons behind it? You can't. It's everywhere. It affects people everywhere in the world, anyone, any age. It affects different people differently. It has different causes. It has different treatments. It's impossible to define. And that means also, characteristic number two, there is no one solution for it. You can't find a solution to prevent cancer when one is caused by smoking and the other is caused by contaminated drinking water or genetics. Each case is different, which makes it very hard. Another characteristic of wicked problems is that they have no stopping rules because they are part of such complex systems. It's really, really hard to tell whether we've tackled it or just tapped into a feedback loop that we didn't know about and that we don't know the consequences of yet. Like, we can't even predict the weather outside of 5 days from now, despite the research and technology that we have. And weather is only part of the climate change problem. So there is no way that we'll be able to tell whether we have tackled climate change. And really interesting characteristic of wicked problems is there is no right or wrong solution, because everyone will have a different opinion because there are different vested interests. It is all super subjective, and therefore it's not black and white. It's just not easy to find solutions. All of these characteristics mean that wicked problems virtually cannot be solved. There are too many facets about it. There are too many elements. And the hardest part about it is it's our beliefs, values, and habits that make it part of the problem. Well, that are part of the problem and make it difficult because everyone has got different ones. It would take a paradigm shift to even try to start tackling a wicked problem, which we know is very difficult to achieve. And even with one paradigm shift, that might just make things worse for another wicked problem. In Module 2, we looked at scientific chaos and complex adaptive systems, which is when a system becomes so complicated with so many different elements that it starts to behave unpredictably, and that our ways of thinking, our rationale doesn't apply anymore. That helps us understand wicked problems better because they are scientific chaos, basically. It teaches us that systems thinking is required and that we need to look at all elements so that all stakeholders can be part of the solution. It will require enormous structure of trust and collaboration with long-term investment and an understanding of all possible facets for solutions to be viable. So yeah, that was my very awkward way of trying to explain wicked problems, which, to be fair, make my brain hurt. Thank you for listening.